with us, as we have so many legal option theories swirling around Ghislaine Maxwell right now. Will she get pardoned? Will she get a sentence reduction? Will she be unalived? Will she be queen for a day? And here we have Lionel, ex-prosecutor, to explain all of the above. Thank you for coming on, my friend.
Well, thank you. And let me also say, as I was saying before, congratulations to you, my dear friend. And I say that to you. That is a sound. That is a sound of fury, the sound of freedom. And you deserve it. I'm so glad to be a. And by the way, I consider myself 100% fully responsible for you hitting the 1 million subscriber mark. Just me. So say what you want. I know who's responsible.
That's why we put you on the thumbnail, Lionel.
That's right. Anyway, congrats. Now,
thank you.
Let's talk about this, and let me ask both from a prosecution point of view and a political point of view and a rational point of view. Why did anybody bring her up in the first place? This was done. She was convicted by a jury of her peers, appealed. Trump really had nothing to do with it. Her case was involved with Epstein. She wasn't involved with any other women. It was her basically conspiring with Epstein. And it was maybe 4 or 5 women total. It was a kind of a limited view, but that was it. She got 20 years. It was done. Trump could have said, that's it. I'm not here to undo and unravel prosecutions. I'm through with it. He could have also told his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, I don't want you to mention the name. I don't want you to mention files, flight logs, black books, client list. There's no client list. He's not a pimp. What these words so imprecise that were used. I don't want you to hear this. Dan Bongino, this little baby, it struck me to the core. Shut up. You're the assistant director of the FBI. Grow a pair, butch up, be a man, shut up. I've never seen, it's like they think they're podcasters. And Kash Patel, who basically always looks frightened, I don't know what he's doing. So, Sean, nobody cared about Ghislaine. Nobody cared about Epstein. It was pretty much done. It was done. Now, there was talk about whether Elon was going to be talking about this. But Trump could have just said, listen, that was done. It's none of my business. We're moving on. I've got tariffs. I've got Putin. I've got all kinds of other stuff. And that would have been it. I mean, that would have been it. And a lot of the left, let's face it, a lot of the left kind of wanted to keep quiet because they had their favorite people on these lists and the like. We'll get to that in a moment. But no, that's not what they did. Pam Bondi says, I have on my desk the list. And then we said, oh no. And then she talked about thousands of victims. And then they talked about terabytes. And also, is Israel involved? Is it Mossad? It's like, oh, Jesus. I mean, stop it. Where did this come? It was like, you know, when your mother said, don't scratch it. Don't scratch it. Don't pick at it. It's like, oh, damn, it's red again. I know I told you to quit. It was healing. It's a zit. Leave it alone. What are you doing? What is the purpose of this? Why did you bring this up? Now, my good friend, Sean, let's go through this. Number one. First, you know and I know that in our business, once somebody gets to use a word or a phrase, they never forget it. Conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory. I heard somebody the other day, we're talking about 9/11. Well, it's a conspiracy theory. No, it's not. Why are you saying that? Well, that's what we call it. We just use these words. There is not a list. There is not a list regarding Ghislaine. There is not a list. I don't even know what this means. There are investigations. There are about 1,000 maybe total girls over 20-something years, some of them underage, some of them not, some of them underage, but certainly not pulled and cajoled and wheedled and forced into this. I'm going to say something to you. And we all know that a person under the age of 18 in the United States cannot consent. But Sean, you know and I know that there are girls who at 20 years old or 18 years old or 17 years old are the equivalent of what 30 years old was in the 50s. They are so sophisticated. They are so experienced. They are so sexually active. I'm sorry. It doesn't excuse anything. But we're not talking about women who were plucked from the playgrounds of Catholic schools in little uniforms. I mean, I'm sorry. It doesn't change anything, but you must understand the context of this. Now, so there is no list. There are 1,000 people, there are about 150 or so who actually settled with not only Epstein's his estate, but also later on with J.P. Morgan Chase and Deutsche Bank and others. We've got people who were involved, 150, 200, 300, 400. Who knows? Who knows how many? Who knows who would say, I do not want to bring this up. If I said to you, let's assume you were a woman, okay? And you're on this list. And I said to you, excuse me, I am Special Agent so-and-so from the FBI. We have the list. It says here, let's assume, just for the sake of argument, because people can understand, let's say it says, list number 1, Bill Clinton, Shauna Atwood. Boom. Shauna Atwood says, leave me alone. This is 20 years ago. I have a family. I'm not bringing this up. I don't want to be involved. No, you don't understand this. We have to go through this list. Do not release that name. Do not release that. You got to think about me as a victim. That's done. I'm finished. I don't want to get involved with it. Okay. Now, there are some, by the way, who really want to get into it, and you know that. But not that many, okay? Then there are these things called these client logs. Client, they're not clients. Sean, the people who were on that plane, on those various visits, Ethel Kennedy, George Stephanopoulos, Katie Couric, these are just not involved in anything nefarious. They were just victims. This guy was, and in the 80s and 90s, this was the belle of the ball. He was the head of the social butterfly season. Trump Trump and then was just Trump. Wild man, a billionaire in New York. He was like a lot of people would be. Not doing anything wrong, but I'll bet you if you looked at that lifestyle, it was debauched, not necessarily Trump, but just the way it was. The way it was. You know this better, not you personally, but you've been around entertainment and people who have been, it's just, I have, give you an idea of this. I've known friends, one in particular, who was always involved in things like the ball, the every year there's the Met Gala or Gala here in New York. This was one of the biggest perv Illuminati, I don't know what you want to call it, for years. I mean, it was wild. The Academy Awards, yachting. Whenever you see, you notice how many people are on these yachts. Hey, look who it is. You know what that's all about. You know that routine. You know that term. Let me tell you something. Most people that we talk to, they know nothing about this. So they, for the first time, have this idea that Epstein had in his various locales women kept in basements and chained and crying, and no. Now, that's not to in any way excuse this. Ghislaine Maxwell was the one who seduced them, who became their mother, their sister, their trusted friend, the one who went out and lured them, who pulled them in, who said, bought them the Louis Vuitton. Okay. That was going on for a long time ago. Now, let's jump to the case. So remember, we have, Pam Bondi mentioned lists. Then she said files. What the hell is a files? Now we're getting into files. What files? A list was one thing. Now we got files containing lists. Alan Dershowitz jumps in with documents. These documents are, now we got documents list. We're talking about client list, and we're using this as though there is a list that says Bill Clinton, boom, Bill Gates, boom, names. And no, I don't know where this came from. They have known forever the names of people, who's involved. Now, for reasons, and you and I can speculate, we went to the state of Florida with this guy, Alexander Acosta, when they took a state charge, Palm Beach County, state of Florida, a state criminal charge, and the federal government intervened and said, we're going to handle this. We're going to settle this. Okay, that's moot at this point. It's done. It's finished. It's through. The question is Trump going to pardon or commute the sentence? Commuting the sentence says, I'm going to basically let you go. Time served. Whatever you've done, we're going to suspend the rest of it. Get out. Sean, why in his right mind would he do that? Why? Why not?
The only reason I could think of for him doing that is because he wants to complete the cover-up. Because she's not said anything. She obviously knows everything.
Complete the cover-up.
Yeah, because it would be completed then, and he'd just get a backlash from the public, from the survivors, from a lot of his followers, but the cover-up would be completed because she knows everything. Either she opens Pandora's box or she goes away quietly, but it's a quid pro quo. She's not meeting the feds for no reason.
No shisa, as we would say. Well, here's what we do. First, there's two kinds of immunity. Immunity, there's use immunity. They call it limited, but it's use immunity and transactional. Transactional, we don't do anything. That means, all right, Atwood, if you talk to me, we will not charge you with anything involving this particular matter. And they don't do that anymore. Use immunity says, I'm not going to use anything that you say against you in the course of this. I'm just going to, I might prosecute you later on, but it won't be based upon what you've said. As long as I can show independently, I've got other people. So, now here's the thing. Now listen, let's be honest with you. You're Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm your lawyer. Okay, we got good news, Ghislaine. By the way, don't you love the way they Ghislaine say? Has anybody been listening to how you pronounce this name? Where does that come from? I mean, people just don't. Maybe they're doing it on purpose. In any event, I'm going to say, here's what you're going to do, honey. They're going to ask you questions. And one question is, at any time, did you see, learn of, or know, firsthand or otherwise, whether Donald Trump, as a president, a candidate, prior citizen, or just regular vote, had anything to do? Did you observe him? Were you aware of any nefarious activity? Because remember, we're talking about kids. There's nothing wrong with just having plain old orgies. Sorry, that's not against the law. We're talking kids. When I say kids, younger people, people who are minors. Now, Ghislaine, that's you I'm talking to. Let me make sure you understand something. The man I'm asking you about is a man who could pardon you. The man I'm asking you is the one who can let you go tomorrow. The man I'm asking you to talk about is the guy who can say, come here, give me this. You're on your own. Here, pack your bags. Here. I have been saying they're going to commute the sentence and she's going to go off to UK and never be seen from again. Not dispatched, but just quiet. She's got her millions of dollars in some Cayman Island bank fund. She's worried about her parent, her family, not her parents, her one father. She knows better than anybody how this works. But going back to what I said, you think this woman's going to basically, if she knew anything, would implicate the man who can commute her sentence? No. I'm telling you, whether it happened or not.
So a deal would have been struck in advance. And if you look at the people who met at the prison, it's Trump's number two is his former criminal defense lawyer. So isn't there attorney-client privilege? No. Who's also good buddies with the lawyer who's representing Maxwell. They've been on podcasts together.
That's okay. I mean, you could, listen, look at Dershowitz. Dershowitz represents everybody who's ever, by the way, Dershowitz, if you listen to him, everybody, Jesus Christ, St. Paul, you name it, Abraham Lincoln. There isn't anybody he has not defended. So he's the same way. It may look a little shady, but it doesn't really. But the bottom line is simply this: you're not going to find anything involving Trump. That's so. What's the purpose of this? That's important. Now, let's assume she says, "Okay, I've got some following names I saw." Now, first question, Ghislaine, did you ever tell anybody about these before? Yes. I'm not telling you for the first time now. Yes. Do you think that when Ghislaine was basically being indicted after they whacked him, you think she didn't bring this up before? You think she said, "By God, I'm going to make sure that the cabal is maintained. There's no way that I'm going to." No, she absolutely said this before, but they said, "We're not interested." You know, she gave up everybody because, I mean, let's face it. I mean, and you can threaten her family, whatever, but whatever she's going to say now, she said then, if she said anything at all. And remember, who do you go after? Dead people. This is the oldest trick in the book. Always give up dead people, people who weren't involved, people who weren't, and also people who were involved in something. Now, let's jump to the case, to ahead of time. Let's say she says, again, just for the sake of arguments, assuming arguendo, all right, versus an innuendo, which is an Italian suppository, but I digress. Let's say she says, Bill Clinton, minor X, whatever the name is. Bill Clinton's in. I don't know what you're talking about. Bill, you're on the list. I don't care what the list said. Ghislaine Maxwell said, well, of course she said that. She's going to say whatever she wants. Who? Don't tell me. Me and who else? Bill Gates and other people as well. Everybody. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So who exactly? How many years ago did you do this? What, 20 years ago? 15 years? Who knows? These people are now, where is this person? Let me see this person. I never said it. It never happened. It never happened. Okay. Let's call the person. You want to testify? No. I don't care what anybody said. Give me a list. I'll go to trial with you. Take it to trial. Tell me on the record. Where was this? When was it? You got a picture of it? Where are all these pictures? Where are the terabytes? Where are the terabytes of information? What if I said, okay, I've got this one picture. Here it is. It's this kind of this greeny. Here we go. Here's the picture. Here it is. And I'm Bill Gates, and I say, or Bill Clinton, or whatever, and I say, that's AI. It's not me. Who is this person? Where is it? You can't prove this case. You can't do anything with it. You're going to say, okay, I've got a name. Take me to trial. You can't just say I did something. Where was it? There's nothing wrong with getting a massage. I'm sorry to tell you that. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, come on. We know what you did. No, you don't. Prove it. What are you going to do with this? Unless you say, I'm going to do it right now. I'm 40 years old. I'll tell you what you did. You did this, 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 and this. Okay. You want to go to trial and do that? Go ahead. Go ahead. Do you ever see Bill Clinton now? He's walking around with his mouth hanging open. Forget it. It's 20 years ago. Nothing's going to happen with this. It's an old case that with women who say, I may have settled, or I don't want to bring this up. I'm not complaining. Maybe my family doesn't know this. Maybe I'm not proud of this. Now, I got to say one thing. I got to just bring this up. As you know, you see, Sean, in our business, our fans, our family, they just say stuff. God bless them. They just say stuff. I'll give you an example. Just as an aside, the most fascinating case is this Candace Owens and Brigitte Macron. Guaranteed. We'll talk about that later. It's bigger than anything, and people are missing why it's interesting. Okay. But I know people who say, yep, I believe her. That's a dude. And I'm saying, wait a minute. How do you know this? You don't know anything. No, no, you don't. You don't know anything. We just say we do. Okay, so here's the story. All of a sudden they said, it's Mossad. He's a Mossad agent. How? I just know this. I just know it. Okay. When was the last time? Let me ask you a question. Do you think for a moment that if this was really Mossad, say what you want, I think they're pretty doggone good when it comes to the intel bit. People say they may have lost their fastball, but I think they're pretty doggone good at what they do. Now, do you think they would have let, Sean, years and years of hard drives and data just sitting there collecting dust? when the FBI came in and quote, retrieved, I don't know how many terabytes. If I was Mossad, or whoever it was, I would be collecting this stuff every day. As soon as I got a new figure, we're taking it in case the house catches on fire, somebody breaks it, somebody steals it, somebody seizes it. You think Mossad would allow 20 years of hard drives and film to just be accumulating of the most damaging, earth-shattering stuff? No. None of it makes any sense. I don't even understand it. So do people think this through? Oh, no. He's Mossad. Excuse me. They didn't make him a member. He doesn't have a badge. He's not a member of this. Yeah, but don't you understand? Ehud Barak was there. Uh-huh. Well, what does that mean? It looks weird. Les Wexner. What about him? What about him? And they're just jumping. You see, there's this, and if ever there's one thing you and I can teach people is, let's teach people how to, there he is. This guy, by the way, is a bona fide hero in Israel. Say what you want about him. This guy's got cojones like watermelons. What he's done in terms of warfare, this is a bad dude, okay? But he's there lurking around. Okay, what does this tell you? I don't know. But people in our book, there's Les Wexner. This was the genius, the money. This is Victoria's Secret. All the, never question, never, nothing. We don't know anything about. We just don't know. He just doesn't come up. Okay, all right, fine. Again, this is not my thing, but he'd be somebody that I would talk to. But people are saying because he's involved, and Ehud Barak and others as well, Ehud Olmert and others, that this is a Canadian, no, excuse me, this is an Israeli thing. It's not. I mean, it may be, but where are we getting this from? Because in our group, Sean, people just jump ahead of time. Give an example. After 9/11, they had these things in New York called the Dancing Israelis. Ever hear about this? For some reason, there are a group of people who were found dancing and happy and elated over the fact that the Twin Towers had died. And they were pulled over and they were dancing. And people said, aha, it's Israel. I said, excuse me, that's not Israel. Those are 4 Israelis dancing. I can take you to Jersey City. They were dancing there. There are people I know. Where people make these jumps. They just jump and they say, well, that's obviously what it is. He's got a list. He's got a client list. It's Mossad. They just jump. Macron's a man. It's like, where do you just get this from? You just make these statements. I believe in this thing called proof. Now, the bottom line is simply this. What the president's got to do is he will fire Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, shaken to his core, Kash Patel. I've never seen such an incompetent bunch of rubes in my life. Now, do you know what the president has to do to, and by the way, just so that you know, I like the president. Why? I don't have anybody else. That's it. He's it. He is it. There's nobody else. Democratic Party, you can have it. I live in New York City where we have a bona fide socialist, not as bad as Sadiq Khan, but he's pretty close to it. And I'm seeing things change you can't believe. You see what's going on in Europe. You see this change. There's some very, very serious stuff. So if there's somebody who's even remotely conversant and beneficial to our cause, we will, be in his favor. So right now, the president is doing so much stuff, and he is the only one involved. And here's what he has to do to change everything. It's very simple. Arrest somebody. If you could see right now, breaking news, CNN, breaking news. Let's go right now to Chappaqua in Westchester County, New York. That's right, Sean. FBI agents have taken into custody Hillary Clinton, who's being brought to the Southern District of New York, where she's being held in custody. She's being charged with an unsealed indictment under conspiracy. She's being held for the time being. She's being mugshotted, fingerprinted, and released. And the Department of Justice will be giving a statement. CNN, MSDNC, everybody, political, they would be going berserk over this. Berserk. They wouldn't talk about Epstein ever again. Because F. Scott Fitzgerald said one time that the sign of a great intelligence is to be able to handle 2 seemingly two seemingly inconsistent, incongruent ideas at the same time simultaneously and not lose your mind. Americans can't do that. It's one or the other. It's either Epstein or Hillary. Can't do both. There was a guy years ago called his name on the Ed Sullivan Show. By the way, there's this Sunday night on Netflix. There's a special about what Ed Sullivan was here growing up. He was very, very progressive and brought a lot of black entertainment. Anyway, there was a guy named Eric Bren, and he would take this plate and he would put a spin on it, and another stick, and he'd spin these plates, and he had all these plates spinning. And well, that's what you've got to do in this business. You got to be able to handle 4 or 5 different subjects simultaneously and keep going back and forth. Go here, go back there, go back here. Americans can't do this because they have no attention span. So all you have to do is just throw them something different. They're throwing Hillary, and that's it. And they're done. But they haven't arrested one person. They've had a couple of judges who were involved in conspiring to keep ICE officials from doing their job. So this president is not vicious. He is not ruthless. He doesn't arrest anybody. He doesn't do anything. And, Sean, he announces every time he's doing something in advance. He tells you, we've just referred for investigation. James Comey, who was out of the FBI then, and Brennan, the CIA, and Intel. Why are you telling people this? Just arrest them. Hillary Clinton, we're going to do this. Nothing's ever happened. We have, I don't want to give you too many names you wouldn't know, but we have 2 cases of blatant, apparently, mortgage fraud, and he announces it. It doesn't do anything. Trump doesn't have a killer instinct. So all he's got to do is just sit back and be quiet. Don't offer anybody any immunity. What is he going to do? What is he going to do? He is continuing this. Every time he tries to end it, he extends the discussion. Okay, it's over with. We talked to Ghislaine. What did she say? Well, I can't give you what she said because it's secret and you're not turning it over. I can't tell you what she said because there are some investigations we have. No, we want to know the list. I can't give you the list. So then they're going to argue about that. He's going to say, I can't do it because if she gives you the information she gave me, then the people who are basically on who are going to be investigated, they're going to take off or leave the country or whatever. So he's done. He's finished. And guess what? Pam Bondi is nowhere to be found. Kash Patel, Dan Bongino. It's just the Trump and the Trump by himself. And he's doing everything he can to tell you what he's doing regarding tariffs. And he's wasting his time with this stupid Epstein case. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. It was so incomprehensibly, stupidly handled. And he's not involved in any of this. Now, were there some kinky things in the old days? Probably. Has he said some stupid things? You betcha. Is he a pervert? No. No. I mean, he put it this way, whatever pervert means. And by the way, I got news for you. Was Epstein really that certain type of PDF file? Was he really? Probably no more than anybody else. Sean, you've hung around these people before, right? These,
no.
You
know. Lady Colin Campbell said he was an Ebophile.
Hebophile, a Phoebophile, chronophile. There's all these names for this. I'm going to tell you something that maybe you've seen this. When you get involved in the world of fast times and all that, you get in first of all and you say, this is great. I've arrived. I'm Sean Atwood. I'm being invited. Oh, there's Lady Gaga and this and it's Taylor Bennett. And look who it is. It's Mick Jagger. This is great. What do? You want to do drugs? We do drugs. Count me in. Why? Because I'm a hipster. I love this. Sure, I'll do that. Whatever you say. This is great. Why? Because I'm untouchable. I'm Sean Atwood. What else do you have? We have orgies. Count me in. Diddy. By the way, where's Diddy? We'll talk about that later. Diddy, freak offs. Why? Because I'm Diddy. That's the way I do it. Okay, that's what I do. I'm girls. You want to come to my island? Absolutely. Does anybody say, now, by the way, these girls are legal, right? They might be a little, they're not infants. I mean, they're, put it this way. If you saw them, when you saw Virginia Giuffre when she was younger, you might have said, oh, but it didn't shock your conscience. She wasn't a toddler. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but what I'm saying is it was kind of on this weird border, right? But they feel like they were bulletproof, that they lived in their own inertia, that like, for example, Prince Andrew. I don't have to worry about anything. I'm Prince Andrew. I can do whatever I want to do. You don't think MI6 ever told them, Prince, listen, hon, babe, listen to me. You can't talk with him. We know all about him. We in CIA are like this. We know MI5, CIA, FBI. This guy's got problems. Stay away from him. Andrew says, you don't understand. I'm Prince Andrew. I don't have to worry about this stuff. I do whatever I want. You can't get me. You can't arrest me. I don't follow the rules. I'm Prince Andrew. I'm Prince Andrew. This is Epstein. This is Mick Jagger. This is, you don't know. There was somebody who said years ago, great men don't stop for red lights. We don't have to worry about this stuff. And they believe this. They believe this after a while. And then one day somebody said, right, that's it. Roman Polanski. They decided to drop the ball, the hammer on Roman Polanski. This has been going on since the days of Charlie Chaplin and Fatty Arbuckle and Clara Bow. I mean, Hollywood has been filled with Judy Garland when she was a kid. I mean, this is all, and they pick him. Remember when they would arrest Al Capone all of a sudden out of nowhere? They had to just arrest him. It's like, well, we got to arrest you. That's what they do in Hollywood. They'll pick somebody and say, good, we got, see, we do this. And guess what, Polanski, you're the guy. This is going on all the time. They were making fun of Leo DiCaprio. They were, I forget what it was. Who was it? Ricky Gervais. So one of these things was said, by the way, this thing has been going on so long. Your date tonight is now old enough or something. They laughed at this. Everybody in Hollywood knows everything. Sean, they don't care about this. They know.
But Lionel, a lot of people agree with all of that. But why is this Maxwell situation where it is right now? I mean, Elon Musk lit the fire a month ago. The fire is burning crazy brighter every single day. Maxwell's got the feds going to her. Something's going on here, man. What the hell is going on?
It was the stupid reaction. This is what I would have said. Elon Musk. Oh, God. Elon. Bless his heart. Anyway, let's talk about tariffs. Tariffs, I want to talk about 50% tariffs. And what about Elon Musk? I know. Elon Musk. If you ever talked about people, you know how we say in the South, bless his heart. Bless his heart, that Elon, walking around with that kid on his shoulders all the time. And he's got this one, he's got the baby mama here. Remember the woman who claimed to be the baby? He never really, I don't know if he acknowledges. What has he got, like 90 kids? Bless his heart. That's Elon for you. I don't know. Now, let's talk about the tariffs. That's all Trump had to do. If Elon's got it, let's hear it. Let's see it. Where is it? Sean, do you think, now damn it, do you think if there was anything at any point that implicated Trump, that they would have been all over it? They impeached him twice. They've sued him and accused him of everything.
Look, I'm agreeing with all of that, Lionel. What I'm asking is, why the hell are the feds sitting down with Maxwell? What is the reason? And what's going to happen next?
Retarded. I told you. They're going to say, we met with her. And you will find out right away. Are you going to commute the sentence? Yes or no? If it's no, then that means what? She didn't say the right thing. You're not going to, she talks, she's granted immunity, so whatever she says can't be used against her. Is her lawyer going to say, well, she talked, but she didn't know that much, or didn't say anything worthwhile, or nothing that would warrant her being released from prison? I don't know. If she is commuted, aha! Now, pardoned, forget it. That is such suicide. It's not even funny. But commute the sentence? Wow. What did she say? What does Trump say then? I can't tell you because we're investigating this now. So that's going to start this thing out. Remember, All this had to be done. This is an unforced, what do you call it in soccer, an own goal or unforced error or whatever you go. He didn't have to do any of this stuff. He could have said, she's over with. What about Elon? I don't care what Elon said. I want to talk about this. And that's it. If he would have told nobody say anything, not you, Pam, nobody. If they said, Mr. President, what about Ghislaine Maxwell? I already told you. She had a trial. She was found guilty by a jury. She had this appeals. I have nothing to do with this. I don't know anything about her. That's it. You see, a little background for those, especially you, my fine friends of the UK. Do you have pardons in your country? Do you have this? Let me tell you what happened initially. A little background. The reason why the pardon came about was at the beginning of the country. They didn't know what. I got George Washington. They got people who were charged with the Whiskey Rebellion. He says, look, we're a brand new country. Okay, you are pardoned. You're not. I have to make some type. This is before appellate courts, before reviews. The court system was brand new. We were a brand new country, And there were people, just like after the Civil War. What do you do when you're a Confederate soldier and you've just lost? That's why the 14th Amendment. You're an American citizen now, but you were the enemy. So there was a lot of gray areas. So the idea of the pardon initially was when there was something that was not correctly dealt with by the regular court systems by virtue of the nascent period of this country. Now, it's like if I like you, if I like what you've done, if I feel sorry for you, things, for example, like when they might want to pardon Rosa Parks, or Jack Johnson, the great black boxer, maybe. But now, Trump, we're just, put it this way, with Biden and the auto pen, what he did, he basically was pardoning everybody. I mean, everybody. Here's another one. Nobody knows this question. If I pardon you, do I have to announce it? Do I have to put it on the record? If I give you a pardon and say, here, I'm giving you this, in case you need it, if nobody brings it up, don't worry about it. It's kind of unclear. Remember that movie? It was one of these, Jack Ryan, it was Harrison Ford, when this one fellow had in his safe, he says, you know what this is? This is a get out of jail. It was a pardon. And he said he kept it there in a safe in case he needed it. I don't know sometimes. Maybe you can say, excuse me, I've got one of these. This is a pardon. We normally think of them being approved and announced. I don't know. So the question is, going back to what you said, why did the president do this? Because he's a chidrulo. He's a jadrul. He's an idiot. I don't know why.
Could he have been paid? Our pardons for sale behind the scenes.
Not in money. Not in money. Biden, yeah, probably.
Didn't the Clintons take some big political contributions to pardon a few people?
Mark Rich, yeah. The night before. Yeah, absolutely.
So they are for sale then.
Well, they have been for sale, and there's no way for you to put it this way. It's quid pro quo. Hillary Clinton, remember, Hillary Clinton, when she was running, was asked to speak where she would get $500,000, $1 million, whatever it is, for a speech. What are you talking about? There's all different ways. Hunter Biden was getting $500,000 for finger painting. They don't even care. Hunter Biden, do you remember years ago, did you have this in your country, payola, when the disc jockeys, Murray the K and Alan Freed, did a big payola thing? It was a big deal where they would be paid either drugs or sex or money to push a song, and they had to reveal this. So what happened was they had these strict rules out if you were a disc jockey, because if you were a disc jockey on rock and roll radio in this country, you controlled everything. So what they did was, let's say you're a disc jockey, your wife would open up an art store. This is true. and she would sell different things. And all of a sudden, people would come and buy very expensive pieces of art. This person happened to be a member of a record label. Had nothing to do with you. He just loves your wife's art. It's all been going around forever. So we know this. Going back to what you said, Trump just opened up the can of worms, and he'll never get the lid back on again. This will never just go away.
Why is he suffering the pain, the backlash of A, speaking to Maxwell, and B, possibly reducing a sentence? What is motivating him presently to do these things?
I don't know. Remember one time he said something like, well, I wish her the best. She's a good person, or something. He makes these statements. He used to say things sometimes. He says things. One time years ago on Howard Stern, he was saying things like his daughter. If I was dating my daughter, my daughter's, a hottie or something. I mean, weird stuff. I don't think he meant. He's just weird. He says things where he doesn't even remember. Do you remember the time when he said, hey, Netanyahu, that's enough. I've had enough of this. 2 hours later, we're going to send you all of the weapons you need to destroy. He just said today, all right, Putin, forget the 50 days. You've got 12 days. He just throws these things out. And Putin says, what? It's one thing after another. I don't know what he says it, why he says it. He feels a couple of things. Number one, he feels bulletproof. He feels like he is imbued, Sean, with this, I don't know what it is, this Kevlar, or he lives in this inertial bubble where he doesn't have to worry about this anymore. He doesn't have to worry about what's right or wrong. He just that whenever he does something, his followers say he plays 4D chess. He's a genius. Everything that he does, if there's a reason for it. I'm going to throw something into you also, or at you. I don't know what happened to him after the assassination attempt. I don't know what happened. But let me tell you, you can think you're anything, tough, whatever it was. This guy he's like not real. There was a Vietnam veteran one time who was doing an interview. And he said, have you ever heard a bullet go by your head? Most people said, no. He said, it's like a steel mosquito. I'll never forget that guy. It gets noise. You never forget it. And that's it. It was a headshot. And because of God, far be it from me to rule that out, God, happenstance, luck, whatever, he missed the most horrific explosion anybody could ever see. And what does he do? This is a guy who, when he goes down, I would have soiled myself. I would have pulled people on top of me. I would have not moved. The first thing he says is, get my shoes. Remember that? I think he lost his shoes. Get my shoes. It's these John Love, very custom made. This is what? Anyway, shoes. But then he can't wait to stand up, did like this, looked out to the audience. He didn't know where this bullet was coming. He wasn't sure if it was left or right. He basically stood up against all odds and basically said, fight, fight, fight. Now, let me stop right there. This guy's not human. He's not real. He's not. There are veterans, war veterans, who can't believe what he did. This is a guy who's never been in battle, never really been, he's had a cushy life. He loves a bit. That is one of the most badass gangster thing I've ever seen in my life. All right, he did it, and nobody can you, the bullet, the picture, this? I mean, come on. Okay. Now, when the crowds go away and he's by himself, and I know, he had to have had dreams about this, maybe a form of PTSD. You don't walk away from that. When you realize what happened, and you see it everywhere you go, it's on YouTube and this and the picture like this, he's got to be reminded of this. And the next day, he's out playing golf with his Van Gogh, band. I don't know what he does. He's not real. He's not normal. So when I say that, I say this with all due respect. He's brave. He'll say things that are stupid. So when you ask the question, why would he do this? I don't know. Why would he pick any of these people? Why would he pick Pam Bondi? You know, Sean, he likes pretty people, cool people, handsome people, Fox News people. He likes the Pete Hegseths and the when you had the hot women and the hot. He's kind of in that gilded world. I love the guy, but this is just the way he is. Now remember, he's 78 years old, 71. Did you see him with Jerome Powell? He's 72. Jerome Powell looks like he's 90. Trump is doing great. The other day they showed about his ankles. Did you see this? His ankles. It looks like some kind of venous reflux. 99% of older people. Did you ever see those big ankles old people have? It happens. It's not the end of the. It's nothing. Where's some constriction stock? It's no big deal. It just they were hanging on to everything he did. They made it sound like he was a mark on his hand. I don't even know what the hell it was. A bandage or whatever. They're going crazy. So I go back to you, my friend. If there was anything even remotely available with a kid, a person, you know that all of the Silicon Valley people, all the billionaires would have said, if there's any woman out here, E. Jean Carroll, that's the best they could get. That lunatic. Remember that? The one who claimed that the R subject matter at a place called Bergdorf Goodman, this very high end, that he and she had some tryst in a dressing room in front of everybody at a department store. What? And they pushed this. They funded this. You don't think somebody would sit there and say, the word is that any woman, especially if you were younger, we will take care of you for life. Not one. Not one. Believe me, they not anybody making it up, exaggerating. So remember, he's got nothing to worry about. So since he's got nothing to worry about, because they would have sued him, they would have charged him. It goes back to your question. Then why the hell even, I would say, who's Ghislaine Maxwell? I don't know. Next. Pardon somebody from January 6th. Pardon a veteran. Do something if you really want to do this. Just move on and tell your family. But I'm telling you, it all started when Pam Bondi, and if she did it by herself, she should be fired. If she did it pursuant to somebody's orders, they should be fired. She brought this up, appearing on Fox News. And they kept talking about this disgusting. Do you remember when, that day they were in February, I think, they were at the White House. They had a bunch of folks who were involved in, a cat turd and other people's names and libs of TikTok, these influencers or whatever. They were there. And when you go to the White House, you get this little bag, you get a little swag bag, and here's a calendar, and you get a pen, and hey, on their way out, Pam Bondi or somebody says, "Hey, come here, got something for you. What is it?" It's a binder. A what? It's a binder of all of the Epstein. Again, unforced error. Why are you bringing it up? It's got a cover, United States, Epstein. You open it up and say, but these are what we already knew. It's kind of a limited hangout. I don't know. And it started. And then, who does he pick? He picks two people, Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, who were on every podcast talking about we have to get Epstein. We have to get Epstein. Once they're in office, Epstein. And Dan Bongino, take it from me. Take it from you. I know. I was a public defender. I don't even know what he's talking about. The same thing with Kash. Why are they doing this? Why did Trump say, why am I picking somebody who did this? Because somebody would have said, here's our script. Here's where we're going. I want you to make everybody understand something. I'm going to use the YouTube code Okay. Mr. Epstein was most probably dispatched. And it's not because of what I think, my guess, how he acted, no, it's based upon evidence, forensic evidence. That's it. I don't care. I'm a prosecutor. I don't care what. He was in a good mood. I don't care if he was in a good mood. I've got a hyoid cartilage here, a hyoid bone rather, and a thyroid cartilage, and they're fractured. And that's the only way you get that is by the assistance of somebody else, not self-help, so to speak. That's the end of it. And to add something to it, who is this guy Epstein? Bill Barr's father, the Attorney General of the United States, Bill Barr's father was the headmaster at this place, Dalton School. This was this high-end, Upper East Side, fancy schmancy, hoity-toity private school. And they picked Epstein to teach math or calculus, didn't even have a degree at this prestigious, I guess you'd call it a public school where you are. It's this private school. I don't understand that one. Who is Les Wexner? Why did they give him this money? And there are other people who are saying things like, and there's some other good folks out there who are suggesting that maybe his real involvement was money laundering and the like. Okay, we can guess this all day long. All I know is he's done. It's over. All Trump had to do was say nothing. It's going back to your original question. I don't know why he said anything. What does he do now? He's got one of two things. If he doesn't do anything, if he doesn't commute the sentence or pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, what does that mean? Number two, does he say whether he's learned anything new? He can't say that because if this was a real investigation, you would say to people, I can't tell you ahead of time what I'm going to do because that's private and I'm not going to let that go. If he says, we have some new names, I'm going to have some time to review it, that's going to take the amount of time and stretch it even more so that the discussion of Epstein is even longer. All of this could have been avoided by just not saying anything. We wouldn't even be here. Nobody would say anything. Trump would just say, I'm changing the subject. I don't know. That's it. Or what he has to do now is arrest somebody. Once he arrests somebody, if Hillary Clinton were arrested for anything right now, charged with something, indicted, that would be it. It would kill it. It would be over, done with. Nobody would say anything. And that's that. Now, if anything, do you think that in any way Ghislaine Maxwell is in any kind of risk of anything, let's say?
I think she's always been at risk ever since what happened to Jeffrey happened and what happened to Jean-Luc Brunel happened. She's all over the news again right now since we've been on the air. They're still wrangling over the sweetheart deal. Maxwell makes a pitch to the Supreme Court. Justice Department has urged the Supreme Court to reject Maxwell's petition. Right. This has just come out. Let me just read you this paragraph, and I'll put it back to you. This is the defense brief. No one is above the law, not even the Southern District of New York. Our government made a deal and must honor it. The U.S. cannot promise immunity with one hand in Florida and prosecute with the other in New York. President Trump built his legacy in part on the power of a deal, and surely he would agree that when the U.S. gives its word, it must stand by it. We are appealing not only to the Supreme Court, but to the president himself to recognize how profoundly unjust it is to scapegoat Ghislaine Maxwell for Epstein's crimes, especially when the government promised she would not be prosecuted. That's Maxwell's attorney, David Oscar Marcus.
In 2008 or whatever it was, they made this deal. And Alexander Acosta, who was the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida, made this, and they said, why are you doing this? And he says something to the effect of, I got higher order, it's from above, or it's, whatever it was. I forget the...
he said it's intelligence, it's above my pay grade, it's intelligence.
Yeah, right, okay. Now, here's the deal. They made a deal with Epstein. They said, we're making a deal with you. I'm making a deal with you, Mr. Epstein. And part of the deal that we're making with you is that nobody else, your potential co-conspirators can be charged as well. Do they have standing to enforce an agreement that was made with Epstein? If she's a beneficiary of this, I don't know if people know what this means, but if I have a contract with you and I say to you, I am going to provide you and your staff with some kind of, let's say, a YouTube deal, blah, blah, blah. You unfortunately die. One of your staff members comes back and tries to enforce the deal I made with you. This person is a beneficiary of this. This person would have benefit. So the question is, do they have standing? Are they did I make a deal with them? Or was that deal only, by the way, for the Southern District of Florida? Does it say that the United States government cannot charge her with anything? Or for Florida? Don't know. I don't know how it was written. I've never seen the exact understanding. I don't believe the Supreme Court is going to listen to it. The Supreme Court is a court of very, very limited jurisdiction. They love to say no. Out of like the thousands and thousands of cases that are presented seeking a writ of certiorari, as it is called, they say, nope, there's no federal issue. Nope, it's already been decided. Nope, they only pick stuff they like, stuff that's really important. If there's a conflict between different districts, whatever it is. I don't think that's going to happen at all. I don't blame them, but I think that's the weakest story of them all because that's already been done. Here is the deal. Trump cannot commute her sentence. Cannot do it. He can't. And he should say, okay, Mr. Trump, if you don't, what's going to happen? Nothing. I would advise him, drop it. Say we always want to make sure that nobody's taken advantage of, but my staff, my department, my DOJ has looked over this, Department of Justice. There's nothing there. We're not going to grant a pardon. My job is not to act as an appellate court. Courts have already spoken. Juries spoke. Appellate courts, judges, reviews, did lawyers. I'm not going to review. I'm not going to undo. This is not my jurisdiction. I'm the president. I don't go back and review cases. I'm done with it. Now, if Ghislaine says, okay, I'm gonna get back at you. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you who means business. Okay, go ahead and do that. But remember something. Nobody charged me with anything before. You're not going to bring anything against me now. By the way, I'm the president. Good luck with this. And plus, it's very up in the air as far as immunity and what you can charge a president with. It's just like they're suggesting they're going to go after Barack Obama for a host of things. So all Trump has to do is, again, number one, is say nothing. Say, we looked at your case and we're not going to grant you anything, and that's it. And be done with it. What's Ghislaine going to do? I don't know. You know, she is, for whatever it's worth, that jury, that case, they wanted to give her 20 years. Why would she not do it? And don't give me this stuff about, well, you know, a lot of people, murderers sometimes don't get 20 years. What? I can talk to you about this all day long. There are people who, Sammy the Bull did what, 5 years or whatever. You want to go through this stuff? You want to talk? I mean, you know, I can't. Well, this one ratted out. Good luck with that. That's for another show, and we can talk about this. So Trump has to basically do nothing. He should have done nothing. He should have said, I'm not here to review. And if he does something, if he thought it was wise for his Department of Justice to do something, he would have done it secretly without anybody knowing anything. Not announce it. Don't say, he's, you know, Todd Blanche is flying down to Florida. No. Why are you telling people all the time what you're doing? I don't understand it, sir.
Right. We'll have to leave it at that. It's at the hour. I've got a class to get to. Huge thank you, my friend. Lionel's links are in the description box and in the live chat. I will let you go and close the show. Cheers, Lionel. Thank you.
All the best, my friend.
All the best. All right. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. The next show is at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and it is called Who is Ghislaine Maxwell? From Prince Andrew to Epstein's Baby Farms. It's a pre-record with John Sweeney, and it's 2.5 hours long. And his baby Ziggy is just run into the room. Mickey, want to say hello? He's in a happy mood. Look at him. Hey, hey. Say bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye, everyone. Hope to see some of you tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. Woo! He's clapping.